Hello, I am Megan and welcome to Battle Royale with Cheese, the website you can get all of your TV and film news, reviews and trailers. And I went to go see a film called AMikuWhoCantSing. This is the first HatsuneMiku film and it's the first colourful stage film which is based on a video game. So, let's go into what a Vocaloid is. So, there is a program, a music making program. I'll put what the name is down below, just below me, because I can't remember off the top of my head what it's called. But basically, it's a bit like sort of GarageBand where you can make different music, and the voice options that you can pick, they now have characters. They've had characters for quite a long time actually. I've known about HatsuneMiku for about 12 years now when I got into Comic Cons and cosplay. But there's all these other different characters as well. And this film was the first one that HatsuneMiku is featured in. It's the very first one. So I was really excited for this. And it was only on a limited run. It was only showing for 2 days in the UK. But it came out in Japan last year and I've been waiting for it since. And I was so excited for it. Before we get into the plot, I apologise if the mic picks up very heavy rain. But AMikuWhoCantSing focuses on HatsuneMiku, or a type of HatsuneMiku. There are different versions in this world, and basically this one you find out that she can sing, but her voice doesn't reach enough people and she wants to be able to connect with people through her song. There are 3 groups of characters who are all part of different bands, and they help Miku find her voice and connect with people once again. So before I get into this review, I am just going to say I'm going to talk about the ending, so spoiler warning for that. It won't be at the end of the video, it will be probably somewhere in the middle, because I'm not going to do a spoiler warning thing for this because it's just the ending I want to talk about. So just so you know, this video is going to contain spoilers. So yeah, I overall actually really enjoyed this. However, I do recognise it's not going to be for everyone. I'm going to get through the negatives first so we can finish off with the positives. But I really enjoyed this. It's a very much kind of day in the life kind of anime style. And if you're not into that, this is probably not going to be for you, to be honest. There was especially a point in the middle where I was like, okay, I feel like you're just retracing ideas and dialogue that we already know about. Granted, it was for the purpose of a couple other characters who didn't know what was going on. However, for us, it was like, okay, you're just repeating yourself for a bit just to pad out the time. But this is also another thing that some animes actually do, is they will sort of over-explain things, and that's a trope that happens in here. There's a lot of, dramatic, over-the-top expressions and exclamations, plus some of the shots stay there for a bit too long. This is all very recognised anime tropes, and I personally don't mind it. I find it, depending on the context, I do find it quite humorous. And I think there's a charm to it if done correctly, which this film sometimes did and sometimes didn't, especially with the over-explaining. But everything else, I don't know, I found it kind of charming, but I do recognise this is not going to be for everyone if you don't like that style of anime storytelling. But yeah, again, it was also just a bit too long. This is about 1 hour and 50 minutes. I think about, not much, maybe 10 minutes could have been taken off. Some characters realise certain things too slowly and slower than the audience has already picked up on. So I feel like that could have been improved upon. But that is kind of the only negatives that I have. So let's get into the positives. I think the animation is gorgeous. There's some really beautiful visuals in here, especially when you get to the focal Miku, who I'm going to be calling Glitchy Miku. So it's the one who is trying to find her voice and connect with people to help them through her song. And her sort of world is called a Sakai. Her world is, because she can't reach people and connect with them, is very much destroyed, is very dark. And that side of things was actually amazing to look at because they've incorporated 2D looking style animation with CGI. So her world is very CGI-like, in a good way to show the contrast. But then there's other parts like the actual real world where it's, 2D style animation. and it looks really good. It looks really, really good. I did also like the different HatsuneMikus that were around. So she is not the only one. The glitchy one is not the only one. So there's 3 groups as characters, and they are all part of different bands who collectively come together to help Glitchy Miku. And there's an 8-bit / pop band, there's a rock band, there's a rap band. And this also means that they have a different HatsuneMiku depending on the genre of their music. So the rock band will have a punk looking one. The 8-bit / pop band has like a very fun looking clown type circus funfair type thing. They're very sort of theatrical. That was probably my favourite. I think all the outfits and the different styles was also really interesting. I kind of want to cosplay a lot of stuff from this, to be honest. But it made each Miku stand out. It wasn't just, oh, you can't tell them apart. Even the hair. A lot of the others didn't have the famous, turquoisey blue hair. A lot of them had different styles and hair colours compared to the glitchy Miku, which I quite liked because they could have easily not have done that. And then it would have been a bit confusing to tell who was who. But I'm glad that they didn't do that. They went in the other direction, which really, really works. Which actually brings me on to the music and the songs. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of music. There's going to be a lot of songs in this because music is its central theme, and finding your voice and your style of music to connect with people, that is the focal theme of this film. And the music was great. I think the sound mix, I don't think it was the film's fault, I think it was probably the cinema I was in. The sound mix wasn't always the best, unfortunately, but the music and the songs and the difference in songs was actually really nice. I do wonder if they're going to release the soundtrack to this, because it was really nice, it was really beautiful at times. But the difference, like with the difference in the Mikus, there's different genres that are going on in here as well, because Glitchy Miku is trying to find her voice and find what type of music would suit her. Like, when they first meet her, she's like, okay, can you teach me what genre of music you do? Can you teach me all about music so I can try and find my spark? So that does introduce different genres and makes it quite unique, actually. Especially the ending concert is awesome. It was amazing to hear all the different genres come together in one on one stage. It was really nice. I really, really liked it. I had my foot tapping a couple of times. But of course, this is a HatsuneMiku film, which means there are actually the other Vocaloid characters in here, which I wasn't actually expecting, to be honest. I thought it was just going to be Miku and that was it. But there are the other ones, some of which include Kaito, Mei, Lin, and the twin. I apologise, I can't remember all of them. Kaito and Miku are the ones that I'm a fan of. So I can't remember all of them, I do apologise. But they are all in here, which I really, really like. The way, I was talking about the sound earlier, the way in which they talk compared to the human characters who are part of the real world and not just part of the Sakai, I thought that was really interesting as well, because the way that the Vocaloids talk is very sort of robotic. If you've heard HatsuneMiku talk, for example, or sing, it is like that. It was really, really interesting, but again, it meant you could tell who was who and who was a part. And if you didn't recognise a Vocaloid, it was very easy to distinguish the Vocaloid from the humans, which I also really liked. If you're coming into this, new and fresh, not knowing what a Vocaloid is or a Miku is, you could tell just by the sound and the way they were speaking. I thought it was really interesting, a very simple technique, but it's one obviously that's been used for years and years, so why not just incorporate that into the film? And then finally we're going to talk about the glitchy Miku, the focal one, and I really liked her. She's especially one that I want to cosplay. Look, it's going to come back to this. This is the type of video review we're doing. But I really felt sympathetic for her. She seemed very lost in her own world, in her own worries as well. But that replicated what her Sakai looked like. Her Sakai, the whole idea was that it showed people's true feelings, which can be fine. But as the film demonstrated, a lot of the times what she was getting was people's negativity and their negative thoughts. And this brings on the fact that the film has some darker themes in it. Their mental health issues, just to like sugarcoat what I mean, actually. There was definitely a couple of points where I was like, oh, I was not expecting it to go the way it went, but it made sense. I mean, nothing was shown, but it was the ideas of, like, you know, mental health issues, depression was demonstrated, and in turn this made her not weak-minded, but not very strong-willed, and sort of it felt like she was willing to fight for a while, and then once everything got worse, i.e. her whole world collapsing, she did go into a state of giving up because there was nothing else she could do. So yeah, I did feel quite sympathetic towards her and felt quite sorry for her. But I did like the message of this as well, is that don't give up if things get too hard. And if things get too hard, you're not on your own. You have friends, you have family, you have someone that you can go to for help. And that was also the whole point of this film, the whole message of this film, is that if you need help, don't struggle on your own. And basically the ending is all of the characters realise that Glitchy Miku's world has crumbled, has just gone to darkness, has been destroyed. Which, by the way, that visual was terrifying. There was a few visuals where I was like, this feels like it would be a horror film, which was really interesting and unexpected. But they realise that her song, she keeps singing this song, and they realise that the reason it's not reaching people and helping people, it's not finished. She never finished it, she doesn't know the rest of it. So the rest of the characters come together and say, okay, well, we have musical talents, we can finish it for her and help her to find her voice again. Which I really liked. Because again, like I said, it's the whole message of don't feel you have to suffer on your own, or don't feel you have to do things on your own. There is always someone there to help you. Just reach out and ask them, it's okay. Which I really, really liked. I think it's a really good message to have. It's a really sweet message to have. And I think it was very well done and very well executed in this film. But, like with K-pop Demon Hunters, when I went to see the sing-along screening, there was a lot of cosplayers. I really wish I had a Miku cosplay. I'm going to at the end of the year. But there was loads of Vocaloid cosplayers, people brought their light sticks again, like with the K-pop Demon Hunter screening. And at the very end of the film, there is a mid-credit scene, which admittedly got a lot of cheers from people, but I didn't know what the significance of it was. So Glitchy Miku, her world is now restored. It looks really beautiful now, and someone appears behind her. And she goes, oh, I've missed you, it's been a long time. And then that's it. So this got a lot of cheers from people, but I didn't know what the significance of it was. It was probably something to do with the games and the story, but I apologise. I don't know what it is. But the end credits section, so if you stayed to the very end of the film after the credits, we got a little performance. So this was really unexpected. So how the live gigs work is very similar to how Gorillaz work, if the band Gorillaz, where you'll have a hologram or projection of HatsuneMiku performing and the other Vocaloids, and then the band will still be present on stage, but they won't be very visible. So at the end of the film, what came up on the cinema screen was the live stage with the Vocaloids, obviously in the cinema part of the film. But we got a little performance of the main song in the film, which was really cool. I really enjoyed it. I wasn't expecting it. But it was really, really cool to see that as someone who wanted to go to the London gig last year and didn't get tickets in time. I was really happy to see this. This was so cool. And yes, everyone cheered and clapped at the end. But it was really fun. But this was my review on AMikuWhoCantSing. I'll put the trailer in the description down below, actually, because I know this is quite a niche film. If you miss literally the 2 or 3 day run in the UK, then that's kind of it. Hopefully it comes out on DVD and Blu-ray in the UK. I really hope it does. But, oh, I forgot to mention as well, I got handed this when I went to pick up my ticket. I don't know if that's focused or not, I apologise. But it was just a little mini poster, which is quite cute. Little postcard poster, which I liked. I wasn't expecting it. But yeah, I'll put the trailer in the video description down below so you guys can go off and watch that. But I was Megan. This is Battle Royale with Cheese. See you soon.